Hey guys, this is Wyatt Jordan from FRC Team 3941, and today I will be showing you the basics of Sketchup. So Sketchup is free. In order to download it, go to sketchup.com/download/all, and you're going to want to download Sketchup Make 2015. This is the free version. Sketchup Pro actually costs money, so download based on your operating system and install. The install is really easy, so I won't walk you through it. So this is SketchUp, and we use it a lot in the beginning of the season when we are first throwing out designs and concepts for the mechanical team, and basically we have everyone think of designs for the robot, because really we need everyone to contribute and try and help us in finding that one really good design. So what SketchUp is really good for is when you first think of that design, you can then make it very quickly in this program and make sure that all the measurements will be within the constraints for the rules that year. So this robot was for the Aerial Assist Challenge in 2014, and this was one of the tightest rules for size constraints, with the perimeter was shrunk by I think 10 inches or something. Anyways, as you can see, it was very difficult to get our shooter out of the way of our ball grabber, and Google SketchUp helped us make sure that they weren't going to be hitting each other. So basics of viewing items. I'm holding middle mouse button here to rotate, so click middle mouse button and move and you'll rotate. Shift click middle mouse button will pan, so you can rotate around and then recenter whatever you were looking at. And then scroll wheel is zoom, but just be careful, wherever you put your mouse is where you'll scroll. So if I put it at the wheel, I'll scroll at the wheel over here. But if I'm just trying to say I want to zoom in over on this bar, but I accidentally get it up too much, I'll actually go to wherever the very edge of my mouse is. So just be conscious of where your mouse is when you're using the zoom. So without further ado, let's start a new SketchUp and I'll show you guys the basics. Oh, that's not what I want. Here, brand new. So you're going to have to go to template, and we're going to use the woodworking inches template because all of our measurements are pretty much in inches. There's also a 3D printing template which we might use later in the year if we want to print something, because we do have a 3D printer, but for right now woodworking inches works fine. So when you first load up SketchUp, you probably won't have this larger tool set on the left hand side, so to get that, go to View Toolbars and check the large tool set box, then hit close, and you will have Google SketchUp. So this green line is your y-axis, red is your x, blue is your z. So all of these tools over here on the left, you actually don't need this tool set if you know all the shortcuts, which are actually quite easy. So to draw a line, you can either click here, or if I go back to the select tool, I can hit L for line, and to go back to the select tool is spacebar. So you're going to be hitting spacebar a lot when you're using this program. Anyways, so let's draw a line. So 2 points defines a line, so my first point here is at the origin, and now it's asking me to find the other point. And as you can see, these numbers down here are changing. That's the number of inches of the line. So let's make it well, let's make it 1 inch on the x-axis, and then another 1 inch. So what's nice about Google SketchUp is that it will snap to your most recent measurement, so you can see it kind of clicks there at 1 inch. And if you look in the bottom right, I'm 1 inch long on this line. So I just made a face. You can make faces by drawing lines and connecting them, or, so if I just select all this by drawing a box around it, hit delete, you can go to the rectangle tool, which is right here, press R for rectangle, and you can pull it out however far you need. To enter the dimensions for a rectangle, you enter the first side length and then a comma and then the second, so I want a 1, 1 rectangle, 1 by 1, and that gets me a plane. So to extrude the plane, press P for push-pull, or you can click over here, and lift it up however far you want to make a block. So let's do 8 inches. Alright, and then most of our aluminum block you can model like this, and it's actually perfectly okay. But if we want to be like more accurate, we can go to the offset tool right here, and this, when you select a face, will draw a rectangle within the face equal to a certain distance away from all the sides. So our aluminum bar is 1/8 inch thick, sometimes 1/16, depending on what we're using it for. So I'm going to type in 1/8, enter, and then I have a square offset by 1/8 all around. In order to check that, you can go to dimensions and you click 2 points, and you'll see that is 1/8. So spacebar to get back to the select tool, click that and delete it. So now to make this hollow, I'm going to do P for push-pull again, and I'm going to go all the way to the bottom and bring this back through. As I'm extruding, you can see here that if I put the push-pull on this face, that means that it will extrude to the same height as this other face here. And when I extrude to the same height as that face, it knows to cancel out the bottom inside rectangle here. It's because it knows that you're subtracting material. Alright, so this is a typical aluminum bar, I guess, that we would have on our robot. So let's say we want to drill a hole, L for line. I'm going to go to the midpoint of the bar and go down, let's just say 1 inch. Alright, C for circle. Alternatively, you can hit the little circle button, and we use 1/4 inch bits quite frequently, so that's a 1/8 inch radius. The number when you're making a circle is based on radius, not diameter. And then I'm going to extrude that out to the other side, and we have a bolt. Well, actually, if you wanted to make this just go through one side, you would extrude only to that side, and then you just have one hole. Alright, so say I wanted to have like a bar that pivots around this point, sticks out here like an arm, so I can draw that pretty easily. So let's just put it centered around this point. So if I know it's centered around this point and the bars are 1 inch long, go up 0.5 inches, and then I'll find the line I just made. So that is going to be right here, it looks like. So you saw by the green dot, that was the end of that line segment. So I'm going to go down 1 here, and there's my line. So now let's pull it out. 1. And I'll go back up. And what's nice about Sketchup is that it will go to the same height sometimes if it knows you're trying to form a face. So as you saw there, when I came up, it shows that dotted line that it's at the same height. And then let's do P for extrude. Let's make this, I don't know, you have a long arm sticking out, 15 inches. And then let's do our offset again. So 1/8 inch bar again. Push pull that, or extrude, whatever you want to call it, out to the end. Alright, and then let's add our pivot. So L for line, midpoint, go over 0.5 inches. C for circle. Oh, whoop, that's not on the face that I wanted it to be on. Let's do that again. I want to be on the x-axis. 1/2 inch circle, 1/8 inch radius again. Push pull that through here. So now we have our arm. Okay, so some of you may already know this, but Google SketchUp has something called sticky faces. So if I select everything on this bar, like so, and then I want to rotate this object, or move this object, so I'll press Q for the rotate tool, and then I click on my pivot point, and as you can see on my pivot points, it's at the center of this circle, but it doesn't have an axis, or I mean an axis that it would go against. So like right here the tool is red, which means that it's rotating along the x-axis here. So if I want it to rotate around the x-axis, but at this point, I'm going to hold shift right now, and then I'm going to put it on this point so it locks the x-axis. Alright, so then you click at your point of rotation, you click somewhere on the bar, and then you rotate. And as you can see, we have a problem. So what Sketchup does is, as I said, it has sticky faces. So all of these lines are going to remain connected, and as you move this object, all of this object is going to conform to keep the same relationships of the lines. So Control Z to go back one step. So to fix that, you need to make groups. So basically I'm going to have to, oh, let's bucket. One sec. Alright, so basically I'm going to have to delete this object here and remake it. So, actually I might be able to pull it off. No. Alright, I tried to cut it off, but as you can see, since they both have the same face, it's going to take that object, take this face with it. Although I can repair that, so it'll still be save me some time. So Control Z, or I mean, oh man, I gotta go back. I meant to paste that. Control X, Control V for paste. Place that down. To get this face back, hit L for line and go around the face. Sometimes you only have to do one line, sometimes you have to do more. And then let's add that circle back. 1/8. Extrude. Alright. So in order to prevent sticky faces, you're going to want to make groups. So I'm going to make this entire bar a group, and any object that's connected to another object will have sticky faces. So if you have bars at perpendicular at a connection that forms 90 degrees, you're going to want to make them both groups, because if you move or edit one of the bars, the other one will also be changed. So select all of your object, and when you select an object, you do not have to worry about going to the other side to select the other items. The select box goes through it, which also means that you need to be careful when selecting an object. If there's other things behind it and you select here, even if you don't see that, so maybe if that's hidden, when you select this, it will also go through it and select anything behind it. So just make sure that you're only selecting what you want. Alright, right click, make group. Alright, so now this group, if I say draw a line here, that line is in the same location as this line in the group, but it's a separate line. So if I click this and then click M for move, you can see that line is separate and it's not connected to the group, which is how you get rid of the sticky edges problem. And when you want to edit the group, double click and it will take you inside. You can make all the changes to this part, and then you can click outside of it. Alright, and then so we gotta make this guy a group as well. Oh, I keep doing B for box select, that's a different program. So do that, make it a group. Let's move it, M for move. Gonna click on this guy here. Gonna put him on the same point, and then I need to move this out 1/8 of an inch, like so. Okay. Now if we want to rotate, select the object, Q for rotate. Remember, we have to hold shift in order to lock the axis. Select the pivot point and apart, and voila, we no longer have sticky faces, which is very important for your models. As you can see in this, everything is its own group. So this keeps things from sticking together, obviously. This frame is its own group. The shooter is made of multiple groups, so every bar is its own group. And this is very useful for when you want to edit your models. So make sure that you separate bars so that if you want to make a change, you don't have to worry about it messing up other parts. Also, you do not always need to model things. For example, I did not model this sim motor, FRC sim motor. You can go to File, 3D Warehouse, Get Models, and this is basically an archive of tons of models that people have made. So if I type in FRC sim motor and hit search, then this will pop up. You can click on it and click download. It'll load it directly into your model. You don't even have to import a file or anything, and there you have it. There's a lot of FRC parts, as you would kind of expect in the 3D warehouse. So if I just type FRC, see if what comes up. So there's a battery, that's a robot that someone made. This is Logo Motion, I think. That's the pyramid from the Frisbee game, Ultimate Ascent. So yeah, and sometimes people will make full field models, which is really nice. So in the beginning of the year, we might make our own if someone else doesn't make one quickly. So that way we can simply load in a full field and we can model our robot after it. And again, just to emphasize groups, if I click on this and open it, you can see that this is its own group, and it's all the objects that you load in from the warehouse will be their own groups, because people know that you don't want it necessarily sticking to everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned a little bit about Google SketchUp. I'm going to try and get this posted onto the FRC 3941 website so that I can teach you guys some of this before the season starts, because you're going to have to use it when the season starts. And I might throw up some other pictures of models for you guys to make just to get some practice. Please do download and use this program a little bit before the season starts, because the first week we will be using 3D designing software, mostly Google SketchUp, a lot, so that we can check all of our dimensions and see if potential designs are even a viable option. So yeah, I'll see you guys all later.